just the four of us. So it'd be really awesome if you guys have any questions or, you know, want to interrupt me or have any feedback or anything, just please type them in the chat or, you know, just unmute yourselves and ask. It's not like we're 20 of us, there's only a couple, so that's totally fine with me. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen and open up PowerPoint. Okay, so hosting a virtual open house. Can I ask, does anybody on here right now have listings? Daniel, Courtney, Adrian, anybody have listings right now?
I have, this is Adrian. I don't know what my video is not showing, but how are you? I have one coming up, so that is why I am interested in this. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, you know, just for you guys, obviously, this is a big deal. I'm not sure if you guys are licensed in PA and New Jersey or New Jersey or, you know, where you're licensed, but you know, it's really hard right now to get out there still, and people are still really nervous about what's going on. Plus, we don't know what the future is going to hold. So if, you know, if there's another round of COVID, if there's, you know, crazy flu season, like these are priceless in being able to market your properties and get them sold. So I'm going to tell you some things that aren't a virtual open house, because people like to throw that stuff around right now: virtual tour, virtual walkthrough, virtual open house. So, you know, some people will try to have like their photos all made into a video. That's not a virtual open house. You're not really showing, you know, everything. You're showing the professional staged, sometimes photos that, you know, you're getting for the property. So you don't want to make photos into a video. A pre-recorded video of the home. So something that I'll do, you know, usually before an open house, a live open house, or even for, you know, my buyer clients, they'll go through a house and just kind of narrate it, like, hey, welcome, opening the front door, welcome to 1352 East Susquehanna, and then going through and just narrating what I see. So, you know, that's good to do, and that's basically what you're going to be doing for a virtual open house, but it's not pre-recorded. It's just live so that you're able to interact with people who have questions, and you're able to maybe go back to something that people want to see that you went too quickly over. So that is not a virtual open house. Slideshows, anything not live, you know, beating a dead horse, but you guys get what I mean. Things that can be used for a virtual open house. So now that we are able to kind of get back out there as of, you know, whatever, about a month ago now, you know, we could be there and we could potentially do it, especially if it's a property that's vacant, sellers moved out already or anything like that. That's a lot easier for us to just do it, because, you know, we're looking at what buyers and what sellers are, you know, we're looking at everything. We're looking at what they're looking at. So we're able to show things better than maybe, you know, having our clients walk through and do it. But I mean, that was an option. That was the only option I had last month, to get my last listing under contract, and it worked. The sellers went through and they just, you know, we practiced before, and, you know, I knew the layout of the house. So they walked through and I just narrated. You can also order 3D tours. And again, just navigating and narrating them. If you're gonna do that, you need to make sure you're really, really comfortable with using your computer and, you know, your mouse or whatever you're using to kind of go through and, you know, the motions. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I go through those 3D tours and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like upside down. I don't know what's going on. So we wanna make sure that we're really, really comfortable with any systems that we're using. A dollhouse view of the house. If you guys have ever seen these before, they're just kind of like a dollhouse. It's just showing you, you know, as if there were no walls, you know, each room and how the stairs are set up and where everything is in the house, just without the walls. Are there any other means that you guys can think of that you would use for something for a virtual open house? Ahmad, Daniel, Adrian, Courtney, anything else that you guys have used or can think of? No, that's okay. You don't have to. All right. So, you know, first things first, you're picking your date and time. For me, I typically do a virtual open house during a typical open house time. I don't want to do it on Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. because people are working from home or people are still working. So that's not ideal. So typically I do it on the weekends or twilight, and, you know, just making sure it's a convenient time for people to log in, because you ideally want to have as many people live as you can, because you want those questions. You want to engage with people. You want to see what they're like, you know, if somebody has a question, they don't ask it, or it doesn't come up, then like they may just blow off your property, and you don't want that. Make sure you have your materials. So knowing your info and having it available. When I am hosting a virtual open house, and usually that's through Zoom, in the background, I'll also have up, here, I'll share this. In the background, I will typically also have this up. Oh my God, there's so many things. So I'll typically just have up dot loop with the seller's disclosure in there. I'll have my listing form up so that I have all of the information at my fingertips for when people are asking questions. Setting up a practice run or a few to test your system. So you don't want to, you know, never have used Zoom before and you're logging on for the first time. You're not sure how to share your screen. You're not sure how to switch from, you know, screen to screen if you're sharing it. You're not sure how to mute people or whatever. So just definitely setting up a practice run, whether it's with your friends, your significant other, your family, somebody will listen to it. And as long as you have one person in there and you're learning how to do it, that's perfectly fine. Creating an introduction to the format, which includes the rules of the open house and if it will be recorded. That was a question, you know, it was asked before. Do we legally have to tell people that we're recording Zooms? And while that may or may not be, you know, to respect people's privacy, I will always include that it's being recorded. And it's also good to, if you're going to take the time to do a virtual open house, have it recorded, because you can share that with people, and it's more in depth than just a virtual tour that you might have up there that's, you know, a minute or 2 minutes long and just kind of goes through the house. And the last thing is promote. Typically I'll put my open house in on Monday for the weekend, or just try and have as many days as possible before. And despite people that I know maybe not looking exactly in that area or whatever, I'll still send a text out and emails out to any active buyers, sellers in the area, just because they might know people who want to move in. Okay, systems and fundamentals. So what will you use? Zoom, Matterport, Google Forms, all that stuff. So Zoom is my go-to. Obviously, we all use it. It's you know, just easy. And you know, for registration purposes, if you have Zoom Pro, they'll allow you to register through Zoom, or you can create a Google form, which is pretty simple. And you just go in, you make sure that the questions are mandatory when you're asking, you know, for name, email address, phone numbers, and you're getting these people's contact information too. Deciding what video conference tool to use, and decide what you'll be presenting. Okay, so like I said, we've talked about Zoom is, you know, our go-to, especially within the office. We just use it all the time. So if you have something else that you're more comfortable with, there's no reason not to use it. But you want to make sure that you have people registering and you know, you're able to capture some of their information. Okay, promoting your open house. Do Do you guys know Command at all? Anybody in the audience? Anybody active on Command? I'm going to take that as a no. And that's okay if you're not. But there are definitely easy ways to go in and create a smart plan in Command, which can remind you, what you should be doing throughout the week. If you're scheduling it Monday and then you start a smart plan and you are, emailing everybody on Tuesday, and then you're making calls on Wednesday, and then maybe you're sending a text out on Thursday to remind them. So making a smart plan is something that I really like to do for virtual open houses, because it just keeps my mind going, keeps me focused on what, the results and getting people there. You post it to Bright, which you have to have the link already to post a virtual open house in Bright. So as soon as you're ready to do that, you have your link and you can put it on there. You can post it to social media. You have your link, post it on there. Just tell people, set up a post with a couple of pictures of the property and say, hey, I'm hosting virtual open house. Whether you're interested in buying or not, check out what I do, or come watch it and see if you have feedback for me that will help me improve, like as a consumer. Like, get your friends and your family involved in your sphere, because making sure that they know what we do all the time is so important. And, we can post all we want on Facebook. Sometimes we post a closing, or we post, open house coming up, like whatever we do. But just the more we're in front of our people and they know what we do and they know that we're professional and they can come in and see stuff like that they could possibly use when they're selling in the future, like, they're gonna appreciate it. Just sending an email to all the agents from your reverse prospecting list. You can do that one by one, so they see the client information attached, or via email referencing the property and address. If no one really has listings yet, you're not sure what reverse prospecting is, but when you go in there, you view your listings, and there's a button in Bright and it just says reverse prospect, and it will tell you, it will give you a huge list of names of agents, and those agents have sent your property within a search to some of their clients. And it might not be specific to, like, they might not go through and use concierge mode, so it might just be somebody they sent it to, and it doesn't really matter, but you're bringing the attention to the address. You're making that initial contact to just try and market your listing, and that's what you're supposed to do. So sending emails to current active buyers or anyone who has expressed interest in the type of property or area that the property is in. Again, your active buyers and anybody who has said, like, how's the market in the city, what's going on? Fishtown was this huge blow up thing. Now, what's the next up and coming place? So, people have questions and they might be scared to ask them. So at that point, your job really is just marketing yourself and marketing your properties, because you never know whose eye you're going to catch. Additionally, always add that people can text or email you directly for an invite and the password. So usually I will even just add that into my description of a listing at the end, like, hey, feel free to text blah, 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 or email for, access to the open house, or, any other questions. And this way, if it's in the description, that shows up on all the other sites that people are looking at, so Zillow and, Realtor.com and stuff. And if a buyer isn't working with an agent, just sees your number directly, and then they can email or text you, like, directly, that might be somebody that you just have their information immediately, which is awesome. Okay. All right, so how to prepare. So you're making sure you're in a well-lit and quiet space. You want people to be able to hear you. You don't want interruptions. You don't want to also look like you're in a basement, locked up or something. You want to make sure you're just in a good space and Everything seems inviting. You're going to want to check your equipment, your battery, your headphones. You know, you don't want to be running on empty and starting your virtual open house and then it dies on everybody. Like, God forbid. I have so much anxiety about that. You want to write out your top details, notes, and the order you plan to go in so you don't miss anything, and just keep it right on the desk next to you, right beside you, taped up, however you can, just to make sure that you're hitting all those places. You don't want to like do this loop of the house and cover everything, and all of a sudden you forgot there was like, you know, extra storage space or you know, a little nook that you didn't go into because it just didn't seem important at the time. And you want to make sure you cover each and every inch of the property. Logging in 15 minutes prior to greet everyone and share your screen to show the rules or format of the open house. I'll have another slide coming up that will kind of do that, just so that you have an example. But you know, we use Zoom all the time, and there are a lot of people that do, but some people don't. And if they think, you know, they can just log on and just be interrupting the whole time and say there wasn't 3 people like there were 20 people in your meeting or your virtual open house, then you wouldn't want 20 people yelling and trying to be heard and interrupting you every 5 seconds. Like you gotta set that standard up front where, hey, I'm gonna go through the property, I'm gonna, you know, narrate, tell you what I'm seeing, whatever, and then I'm gonna open it up for questions. And at that point, someone can go back and you know, revisit areas or answer questions that people have. Again, keeping your seller's disclosure, your listing info and presentation open to refer to, and get started. Okay, tips and tricks. So I always suggest opening a fresh browser window or exiting out of other tabs. Like, no one wants to get caught looking up something weird because your tabs. You know, I'm definitely not the only one who Googles random like symptoms or like, you know, just silly stuff. And, you know, it's so easy for us to go on Google and just be like, hey, like, what does it mean when your hair falls out, or just, I don't know, something weird. And that's what's up in your tab when you're sharing your presentation. So you don't want that. So there are no better tools than the ones you'll use. Know yourself and figure out what's best for you. If you're trying to use, you know, Teams, house party, like there are so many avenues to use. So if you think that it would be better not via Zoom and via different, you know, a different platform, go ahead and do it. Figure out what's best for you, because if it's not this, then like you're not going to do it. So figuring out what's best for you is really important. Prepare with your clients, having room dimensions or a 2D floor plan available. Room dimensions are so important now. And I know a lot of the times we just, you know, we might pull them from the last listing, we might just leave them blank because we're not sure. And it never really was an issue, but in this world and at this point, it's definitely something that we should have available for people. Going over the route that we'd like to take and being comfortable knowing what we're seeing and explaining to the attendees. You know, that's going to be with, if you're not there physically and you're on Zoom and your sellers are walking through the house and doing that stuff, you just want to go over what they're going to do. You know, for me, like I said, I walk in the front door and I like to like welcome people in that way. And then it's like, okay, so there's a basement. Do I go down first? Do I go up first? You know, you don't want to be like, okay, then you make your way through the living room and all of a sudden you're going up the stairs, and you want to make sure that you're on the same page with your client. Creating a video conference etiquette slide in addition to format if you're not sure people will know what to do. Again, most people have had some sort of virtual experience, but not everyone. You can make the password the numbers of or the street of the property address. Just something easy that people will be able to get into it. One time I did a virtual open house and I didn't realize that I required a password. And then I was like panicking, like sending out a million texts and emails, like, sorry, it's the password's this. Okay, So format for our open house. This is something that would be what you would kind of put up first for the attendees of the virtual open house. All participants will be muted so we can get through the property. I'll answer those questions throughout the tour, use the chat box. After we go through, I'll give you back the option to unmute and open the floor for questions. If you would like a copy of the property disclosure, leave your email in the chat box. It's another good way to obtain buyer information. And again, the virtual open house is being recorded. We have to tell people because that's messed up if we don't. One of the biggest struggles of virtual open houses so far has been to get actual buyers onto them. You know, it's easy for agents. We see it. This is our job. We want to view them. We want to see what's you know, going on, what inventory looks like. And that's great. I want agents in my house, open house too, so that, you know, if they do have clients that the house is perfect for, then they push them to see it. However, it's the long-standing issue right now, not that long, a couple months long-standing issue right now, is how we get buyers and consumers just into our virtual open houses. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's it. In conclusion, doing what works best for you. Practice different ways to do this with your friends or family. Get people to attend, set up a smart plan the week of to make sure you're reminding everyone and they all have the info. Engage everyone, but pay extra attention to those muted or with their screens off. These are typically the buyers, while agents make themselves known. So as far as ideas for buyers or the public seeing these virtual open houses, does anybody have anything that they could think of that would make it easier to get some consumers on there? No, it's totally fine. I'm not sure how experienced you guys are on here, or how much you've done, and if you don't have ideas yet, hopefully attending some of these classes are going to give you some of those ideas. You know, we're just trying to make this work and figure out how to do things virtually and safely. And you know, the days of just wishy-washy buyers just wanting to go see every property are not here anymore. They are gone. So these are huge tools, and like making sure that people even like the property or want to see it before they actually physically have to go and see it. And you're doing your clients a favor by inviting them and you know, allowing them to like see these things or requesting from the agent, even if it doesn't say there's a virtual tour, you know, just hitting up the agent saying, hey, do you have any video or do you have anything like that? Because you know, that will eliminate some properties for your buyers and save you time, save them time, and make sure that you, if you're going to go out and be risking your health and everybody else's health, that you're doing it for a reason because they really like the property. Is there anything I can show you guys within Command for like smart plans or within Bright that you need help with as far as virtual open houses go? I'm asking specifically for you guys to let me know, because if not, you know, the presentation's over, so I'm gonna head out. But if there's anything else extra I can show you, I'm happy to do that. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. You guys, let me just catch up the chat box here. How do you record in Zoom? She already left. Sorry, Courtney. Okay. Well, I mean, if there's nothing else I can show you guys, if you guys literally, I don't mind walking you through inputting listings, doing smart plans and command. If that's something that you guys want me to stick around and do, I'll definitely do that. But if not, I'm out. Okay. Okay. Well, good luck to everyone. I'm gonna just put my email in the chat, and you can feel free to email me or text me. There's my info. I seriously don't mind. I mean, new agents, I was there not that long ago, seems like. So I'm happy to walk you through anything from, you know, inputting your listings to setting up the virtual open house, and setting up command, smart plans, and all that stuff. We're all resources here for you guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. And please feel free, like I said, utilize my information if you have any questions or, you know, advice about anything. I'm always available. Okay, so thanks so much for taking the time to come out today and watch the class, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.